Welcome, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Very good. Thank you for joining to this session. I am the CEO of Sodexo UK Engage, and I am here to talk with you a little bit about my experiences about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am a Turkish woman, married with two daughters. I have aged 16 and 20. And I am in UK for the last 4 years. And I am born in Vienna, but grown in Istanbul. Most of my time I spent in Istanbul. But when I was 14, my parents put me in a boarding school in Vienna. So I studied there. Then I went to university in Ankara, another city in Turkey. And I was always on my teenager and young times outside of my home, family, and I had different experiences than I was thinking to have. But I feel, today I'm in UK, I feel that shaped my personality, my leadership, and everything. So then I started to have a career. I was very ambitious. My parents was really supporting me as well. I had a lot of different dreams. However, I ended up to have a really good career in different companies, in different industries, markets, countries, and regions. So I don't know how I ended up like that. I don't know this really. But I started in Siemens, then 14 years in Philips, then lately in Sodexo for last 10 years. I work in Switzerland, Holland, Poland, then we moved to China with my family, with my husband, with my girls for 3 years. It was a lifetime experience, different culture, different markets. So I had that kind of experience, so I'm very happy, but it was challenging. I have really very difficult days during my career, also during my personal life. And whatever I achieve, I have to fight, I have to put more efforts to be recognized, to be seen, or to be thanked, to be really saying, oh, you did a good job, or you are doing something. No, it was not the case, either in my country as a woman, or in other countries as a married woman, Turkish, Muslim, you name it. And always, can she do it? She has 2 kids. She's from there. What is she doing here? But anyway, so I find my way. I really had a lot of opportunities to overcome, a lot of mentors, supporters, and I am here today. So that's why diversity and inclusion is very close to my heart, and I'm one of the champions in Sodexo globally, really supporting diversity inclusion, not only in gender, also in generations, ethnics, minorities, and also sexual identities, really disabled. So I am really a big champion, and I believe in this very strongly. When we talk diversity, I think I don't need to maybe identify what it is, but diversity is, mix of demographic people who needs to participate, and equity is mostly added in the last few years, most probably, to this terminology, which is eliminating the barriers. I think this is about more process, more strategy, but inclusion is really very challenging. It's an act of behavior that everybody can fully participate, and it's act of individuals. It's not a process, it's not a system, it's not a tool. And when individuals, people are around, then you have to have a different behaviors to make it happen. So I think here it starts when we talk about workspace, diversity, why it is so important. Companies, even governments nowadays, putting rules, targets, some compliances that everybody follows some rules to improve, to advance in diversity. Recently, FCA announced some targets to the listed companies that they should have some representations in their boards or executive committees by women or by different ethnic minorities. Yeah, they helped. Targets helps, to be honest. they progress to some point. As we see today, the progress is still slow. We are still talking in many, many organizations, not only in the private, also in the public sector, that the diversity is still not, it should be there. So what is necessary? What are the key enablers? So the organization is more and more embedding diversity and inclusion into their strategies, visions. Business leaders are recognizing diversity and inclusion as an asset to compete in a global, fast-moving digital market. But the key element starts with leadership, commitment of the leadership. That is the key. You put all kinds of strategies, KPIs, targets, HR processes, compensations, performance management, talent, L&D. But if the leadership doesn't own it, there is no ownership, no accountability, no commitment, does it progress? Yes, to some extent. Then it becomes the role of HR. Did they tick this? Did we tick this? But the key element from my perspective, my experiences, is really the leadership. If a leader, the CEO of the company or the executive board of the company truly embrace it with passion, with purpose, then it makes a difference. Then it is embedding to the culture. Then the executive committee owns it as well, the leadership. Then people feel much more inclusive. Today, there are many, many different data, case studies, researchers, which are demonstrating that there is a very big correlation between diversity and inclusion and financial and non-financial performances of the companies. We do regular case studies, and one of our latest case studies says employee retention, employee engagement, client retention, and operating margins are increasing significantly in the diversified organization versus the others. We are doing this across the world. It's not only US or UK. We have 40 different countries with organizations. We do it across the world in different cultures, in different organizations of Sodexo, and this is reflecting all the results of these organizations, independent from which region or which organization. So, and we see, unfortunately, one of the other impact of COVID, diversity and inclusion, has been a little bit neglected during the COVID-19 period when we started to work differently and so. And some of the investments, some of the resources has been postponed or cancelled. That has also a big impact for the workforce and diversity and inclusion, because with COVID, we understand that well-being of the workforce, of the employees, is not about health and about physical well-being. After COVID, we see the well-being is really important, nurturing about physical health, well-being, but also social, also financial, and also mental well-being. And this is also key for the engagement, for the retention of our employees. However, we see well-being post-pandemic has been really an agenda point for all the businesses, and we are right now talking about the future of workplace, new way of working, but we as the leaders, with the HR teams, with our leadership, needs to address the well-being of our employees, related also to the diversity and inclusion, much more stronger. We see, again, engagement, retention, great place to work is more likely to be much more, 3 times more, 2 times more, when the well-being of the employees are addressed well for all the employees. I think now many companies, many leaders are taking call for action, really looking their DE&I priorities and D&I and well-being becoming a business priority. It is not an HR priority. It's becoming a business priority and starting to invest again to improve, to advance this. And when we look what we should do, of course, putting resources is important. And D&I teams should also address the well-being of the people. We know during the COVID and post-pandemic COVID, women and some underrepresented groups has some disadvantages because of working from home or flexible working or from hybrid working. So that needs to be really addressed with the HR, with the D&I perspectives. And of course, I have to say, we have processes, everything. The leadership plays, again, a big role on this. It should be driven by the leadership team. Well-being is not the responsibility of one of us. It's the leadership responsibility. When I look back again to my challenges, I mean, I had a lot of challenges in Europe, in China, and I was really close time to time to get burnout or even give up. I said, okay, my husband is working, he's very, okay, why I shouldn't take care of my kids? But I was an ambitious woman, you know, I want to make a difference. So I was very close, mentally, my burnout, mentally really having some distortions, but I found my way. You know, I have some role models, some leaders who were supporting me, I worked with them and I found my way. But during COVID, when it started March, April, I was really concerned again. 10 years back, I felt so bad. I said, how am I going to manage this? I was alone with my two daughters in London. My husband, my mother, she's 80. They were locked down in Istanbul. We didn't see each other 6 months or something like that. I was pretty new in UK organization, in the culture, in the country, and didn't have too many friends other than my colleagues. You know, I was really concerned. I have responsibility for my family, for my company, for the people who are expecting a leadership from me. And that was the moment we had some Sodexo executive team introduce a buddy system. I had a friend, colleague from another business unit, Sodexo, where I can buddy with her. And I was most probably every night, 9 o'clock, 9:30, meeting with her virtually and talking with her and also listening to her to just address our real struggles. It helped me so much, and I found out well-being is not only as leaders we take care about our families, our employees. It is also about us. As leaders, we should take care first of our well-being, either mentally, physically, socially, then also then for our employees. Which brings me back what is important, again for the leaders, become a role model. Act to walk, I think you say in English, walk to talk, walk to talk. Yeah, if I care about my well-being in the workplace, then I can also care about the employees in the workplace. So we have to be a role model. I am a very strong believer in role modeling. It's not only mentoring, coaching, training, that's not only that role modeling. We have to really act that the rest of our organizations can also have. So leaders has a big responsibility, you know. They have to really drive the key elements. It's not only transactional set, it has been said in the previous session. It's really about human, and we are also human. We have to take the leadership for this. And I have a very good friend, Rohini. She wrote recently a book. It's about leading global diversity, equity, and inclusion. She is really an expert and professor about diversity and inclusion. She's highlighting in her book, transformational leader is key to embed D&I into the organization. It is not easy, but it requires passion, it requires purpose, and it should be intentional. It's not because for compliance reasons or for achieving the targets what we want to do. So leaders, as leaders, we have to really take more accountability, more ownership to drive diversity and inclusion and well-being of all of us. So I just want to finish with this slide. When I graduated in 1994, it's decades before, you know, I was dreaming to become a Turkish politician or to become a very good marketing manager. That was my dream, really. I don't know. I was ambitious, but that was my dream. And today I'm here, and I'm really proud to be here, to be honest, in UK, not native speaker, and in front of you talking about DE&I. It's for me really an honor to discuss this with you. But I didn't dream about this. And diversity, inclusion, I didn't even know these words at that time. And I don't think many companies or many organizations did even talk about this at all. Today, we should be grateful. I mean, we are talking every day about this in many of all these sessions. You see, you hear about that, you know. It's really important. And I think it's more important for all of us in this room that we put more efforts, we make impact, that the next generation benefit from much more diverse, inclusive cultures, and they don't need to fight like I did or many of you did. So today I'm grateful to REBA actually, and thanking them from my heart that they have that kind of platforms, forums, that we can discuss well-being, and I can share also the impacts of the well-being and diversity and inclusion experiences with you. Thank you.